station, Radio Cayman.
The voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Wednesday, the 9th day of November 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, there are portions that may still be wet, so we urge you to please exercise caution. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, remember to observe the rules of the road, and by so doing, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and also to remind you that For the Record, birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, and he reminds you to make the right decision for your family's future today. Again, make the right decision for your family's future today. And those words of wisdom are coming from life insurance agent Mr. Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, who are the proud sponsors of the For the Record shoutouts right here on Radio Cayman. So those of you celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. And I am going to dispense with the rest of my monologue for this morning because I have a guest in the studio and we have a half an hour to spend with him, and it is some extremely important information that needs to be conveyed to our audience out there, especially those of you who are either seafarers or the families of seafarers as well. So without any further ado, let me say good morning and welcome back to For the Record, Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the chairperson of Celebrate Cayman here in the Cayman Islands. Mr. Alfonso, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Morning to your audience. And happy to be here once more to talk about our Seafarers Awards, upcoming Seafarers Awards. I just wanted to stop in this morning and speak a little bit about what's happening. I know we've been given some bits and pieces here and there. Mm-hmm. And the awards sessions begins next week, Tuesday, first one being in East End. All right, we have East End, November 15th, will be at the East End Civic Center. Mm-hmm. North Side will be on the 16th at the North Side Civic Center. And Cayman Bracken Little Cayman will be on November 17th, Aston Ready Civic Center. Town will be the following week then on the 22nd, November 22nd, at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Savannah. The West Bay will be on November 23rd at the Wesleyan Church Sanctuary on Norwest Point Road.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgetown, November 29th, will be at King's Seventh-day Adventist Church on Walker's Road. All the events are scheduled right now to start at 4 in the afternoon. All right, we're doing them during the week. Things like this, I understand that at times people prefer to be on the weekends, but we have 6 events to do, so it would take you 6 weeks to get through them. And the way that the numbers are, there's no way that we could do these in one celebration.
Mm-hmm.
There is in excess of right now a solid 2,500 names that we have confirmed on the list. We still have about another, I would say, 500 or 600 names to sort through.
Wow.
Some of them may be duplications, but that is taking quite a process because the process we're using now, or it was not like the nominations that were done back in 2020 for the 2021 National Heroes Day Awards. Some of that information is being used now, but we now, for instance, got a good listing from Miss Gwen's books.
Okay.
And we're so grateful for that because there are a lot of new additions now. But a lot of these are only names. So we have to sort out what districts they're from and so on. And we're getting a lot of other names from people throughout the districts, which has been very helpful. But it adds to the numbers that we have to sort through because we have to verify that they did go to sea, for one, and make sure that names are correct because people will be getting certificates and so on. So we want that to be as accurate as possible. So we're going through that process now, and we'd like to be a little further ahead, but the process is not one that you can fast track. And you remember we had extended our deadline to last Friday,
right?
So that added, to the pressure that we're under now, and less time for us to sort through. But we're going ahead. So 4 to 6 in the afternoons is the schedule right now. Some of that may change when we complete the list that we see all the numbers in that. It may take a little bit more than 2 hours to do some of them.
Okay.
And we make that adjustment and inform the districts. I believe we're safe for East End and North Side, and possibly Brack. But Town, Georgetown, and West Bay, the numbers are looking to be a little bit more.
Okay.
But Brack being close with Town right now. So we're moving as fast as we can, but I just wanted to come out and, let people know that we're still on. We're still working towards it, and we will have our first event on Tuesday after the Monday holiday next week in East End. Move on to North Side on the 16th, Brack on the 17th, Town November 22nd, and West Bay November 23rd. Georgetown is then the next week on the 29th, and these dates and stuff, we do our best to make them as comfortable as we can for our parliamentarians because they are involved and are also busy doing other things at the time. Because of the time of the day it is, you sometimes interfere with either caucus or cabinet meeting and so on. So they've worked with us, and we now have a schedule, and we're just hoping that people will find the time to come out. I know it's a little odd, but we figure that a lot of our seafaring family that would attend these things are many of them are retired people, and we would like also to do our best to get them home before night is one of the goals that we're shooting for. All the events, we'll have a little reception and stuff afterwards so they can talk with their members of parliament. And we'll be able to have a little snack and stuff. It won't be a big meal, but we will have some refreshments there for people as well. And the caterings and stuff we're doing for that will also be done from within within the districts.
Districts.
Yeah.
Okay. And transport if the people need it?
If people need, we're working on that right now. Haven't confirmed anything about transport yet, but that will happen if we get a big, request for it. All right.
Okay, this is a good juncture for us to take a commercial break, folks. We're talking with Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the chairperson of Celebrate Cayman. We're talking about the Seafarer Awards events that are taking place throughout all of the districts of the Cayman Islands. Still some work to be done, and he's reminding you of that and will give you any pertinent information in relation to anything that you can do if you have submitted information on any individual as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Some military action took place off the sea during World War II. On land, very little military action took place despite the installation of the U.S. Naval Base in Georgetown. Although they did have regular rounds of duties, the Americans had opportunities to interact with locals when not on duty. Informal parties were held at Petra Plantation, Hislop's Ice Cream Parlor, or the tea shop run by Madeline and Myrtle Ebanks. Reverend George Hicks, a Presbyterian minister, was appointed honorary chaplain. As would be, romance blossomed, as well as including the marriage of Lillian Bodden, daughter of Captain Rail and Chief Warrant Officer Jack Howard. However, tensions did occasionally rise, especially if the young Caymanian women were overly friendly to the Americans. On several occasions, fights between the Caymanian men and American military would break out near the town hall, with the most serious incident taking place in December 1943 when 40 of the Caymanian men were home on leave.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is Saturday, November 26th. Your ticket, your chance, your prize. Grand prize, $40,000. Second prize, $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. Get your $25 tickets now through Rotary Central members, Rotary Central ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, or WhatsApp Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brac at 916-7310. The Rotary Music Extravaganza at Salty's Grand Harbor. Performances by Heat, Fabulous 68, and CNB. November 26th, you can be the winner. Proceeds fund Rotary Central Community Projects. Rotary Central NPO number 232. Rotary, all the good you imagine.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
JN Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at JN Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any JN Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable JN Money. JN Money, touching down again. JN Money, ranga to la friend.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Come celebrate 53 years with big savings. Brand Source Home Gallery invites you to their 53rd anniversary sale. 1 week only, November 7th to 12th. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Sale discounts on appliances, lighting and fans, faucets, sinks, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, mattresses, housewares, and more. Come get inspired by inspiring luxury as Brand Source Home Gallery celebrates 53 years with a sale till November 12th. 209 Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
With costs and insecurities rising, staying grounded and focused is what your family needs. Life insurance covers your family and mortgage protection. Peace of mind is mental health awareness.
Life insurance, the sure way to protect your family. I'm Michael Webster. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster. Let's discuss your peace of mind today. Call me at 925-5433.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me, just for a short period of time, just half an hour. But we were happy to accommodate him, the chairperson of Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso Wright. He's here to remind you about the upcoming Seafarers celebrations that are taking place throughout the Cayman Islands. Mr. Wright, back over to you, sir.
Thanks again, OC. And I want to say a big thank you to all the individuals out there who have paid attention to this and have supported us and been sending in names. There's also quite a good cross-section of people that I've been able to lean on to assist me with sorting and verifying names throughout the period, you know. Mm-hmm. I should have Mr. Banks should be spending some time with him today. I have leaned on people, you know, like Mr. Bernard, Captain Paul, some of the members of Parliament, people that I know in the districts that have quite a good memory on the history and those and the men who went to sea. I've had a name, I won't call it a name, but the name came up about 2 weeks ago about an individual who's deceased now, and wondered whether or not, talking around the family, and whether or not this one went to sea. And I called Mr. Bernard. He said, yeah, he went to sea, and this is what he did, and so and so. And you know, and it's so amazing when you still have resources like that for people who know, but also willing to assist, you know. But all right, this has been a long process, I know, and rudely interrupted by COVID. All this would have been over now, but such is life.
Yep.
So these events start at 4 p.m., 4 in the afternoon, and we are asking, you know, if for those who will be at work but may need to leave work a little bit early, either receive their award or to take someone to these events. We're asking employers to be reasonable and allow people some time off to make this happen. This is a special occasion in the lives of many families.
Yes.
A lot of these individuals have since passed on, but it's a family tradition, and the families are proud of what their ancestors did, what these seamen did over the years. I want to say, Orrett, that over in the U.S., you will see that how patriotic they are and how they commend and celebrate and respect those who go off to war and to defend the great United States of America. And I'd like us to feel that same way about our seafarers, because they were our protectors. They were the ones who went out to make life better for us. And one way or another, they contributed to the life that we live today. Just like the soldiers in the U.S. or any other country for that matter. Matter of fact, there have been many of our own seafarers who joined the Merchant Marines who were part of the Trinidad Navy as well. You know, they went that direction as well. So that's kind of how I would like us to look at our seafarers. You know, you see one of them, you know them, you tell them thanks for their service. Yes. Let them know how much you appreciate what they've done. This would not have been the life that we have now, would not have been what it is had it not been for them. And I always try to say that sometimes you try to discount, well, this one only went for 1 year, or he only went for one trip. But we have to recognize the collective effort. You know, it's the whole bunch in a basket that made the big difference. Some did more than others, but still, those who didn't have a long spell out there also did their part. Many of them came back home with skills that were lifelong skills to help them earn a living, whether they stayed to sea or not. But they came back with professions and that helped them to feed their families, and helped to build, to kickstart the Cayman Islands economy here into what we all experience and are enjoying today. So seafaring life was a hard one, but it's a respectable one. And I would like us to bear that in mind and to always find a way to show support, you know, for our seafarers. I just want to go over the times.
Sure,
and
yes,
dates again.
That's important.
All right, East End, November 15th, East End Civic Center. North Side, November 16th, North Side Civic Center. Karen Bracken, Little Cayman, November 17th, Aston Rudis Civic Center. Bordentown, November 22nd, Savannah SDA Church. West Bay, November 23rd, Wesleyan Church on Northwest Point Road. And in Georgetown on November 29th at the King Seventh-day Adventist Sanctuary. These all start right now at 4 o'clock. If there's any changes in that, we will let you know. And we hope to have the complete list ready for viewing by Friday. We'll make sure that is distributed properly, that people will see the names on the list, because we'll be able to tell you the names on the list and who will be getting awards.
Okay. What can people expect, you know, at the ceremony?
Well, because of what it is, Orrett, it can't be a ton of items on an agenda. It has to be about calling the names, recognizing the individuals.
Right.
That said, it won't be possible to call a name and have each family come up. It would take forever if you've seen how it works for National Heroes Day.
Yes.
You're dealing with sometimes 200-300 people, and it can run you into 2, 3, 4 hours at times. So we can't do that. So the names will be called, and the packets will be prepared that the families can collect right after the ceremony. So what we'll do is we'll have a prayer, of course, or national song. We will have some items from local schools and so on in there. We'll have remarks by a minister or a member of parliament. Will be there. And the MPs will call the names. And we will ask, families who are there representing or if the seafarers there to stand so that they could be acknowledged is what we will do.
Yeah.
It is, if it was 50, 60 people, we could have people come up and take pictures and stuff like that, but that's not going to be possible with the huge numbers that we're going to have. It's just one of those things.
And how important is it for those persons who have nominated someone, if the person is no longer alive, if it's done posthumously, but you would encourage everyone to try to be there?
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise then you left with the responsibility later on of delivering those.
Right.
Yes.
So, and we know that some of that, we expect that some of that will happen, but we do hope that representatives for families will be there to collect the awards. But I believe that at the end of the day, we will probably also lean on the MLA offices and so on in the districts to help with any stuff that may be left over to distribute, as well as if needs be, we can set up a distribution booth at the government administration building as well.
Okay, Mr. Fonso, I'm glad we're able to at least accommodate you for this short period. All the best. We know that you and your staff work diligently, on this as well, and want to thank you for the hard work that you do as well. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return after the news, we will have members, representatives from the opposition, the leader of the opposition and his deputy will be in the studio. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is a minute after 8.
This Black Friday, Priced Right is going bigger.
And it starts with a chance to win big in our Black Friday fortune.
You can score a $1,000 Priced Right gift card just by subscribing to Know Our Deals First.
Entering is easy. This month from the 1st to the 23rd, visit pricedright.ky to subscribe and enter.
Or head to Instagram or Facebook at Priced Right K-Man for details on how to win.
You have everything to win
and nothing to lose.
Live better for less with a $1,000 Black Friday fortune at Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Central Planning Authority is meeting today with 4 appearances on the agenda. At 11 o'clock, the board will hear an application for several after-the-fact items at a location in Bordentown that's facing no objections. Then a pitch from Patrick's Island Home Association for 3 subdivision gates. In March, a similar application was refused as some of the roads in the neighborhood are public and the gates would restrict access. Another after-the-fact application will be heard next for a house and a proposed addition on Sunnyfield Road in Colliers. No objections. However, the Department of Environment has pointed out to the board that the area currently serves as a wildlife corridor connecting 2 important conservation areas, the Colliers Wilderness Reserve and the Salina Reserve, which are protected by the National Trust. They're asking for the CPA to set several conditions should they approve the development to minimize impacts on Cayman's endemic blue iguana species, which are known to be in the area. The last appearance of the day is at 2 o'clock by Foreshore Corporate Services. It's an application for a 2-lot subdivision off Edgewater Way in Georgetown that's currently being used as a skate park, defunct water park, parking area, and Mike's Bar. The planning department has raised a concern that the 2-lot subdivision would result in existing parking capacity being disassociated from the skate park. Consequently, skate park users would have no parking provision. In response, the agent has offered to incorporate an easement to help expand parking while the skate park is operating. You can find the full agenda online at planning.ky. The National Conservation Council hosts a series of meetings on the proposed seabird conservation plan. Here's CIGTV's Simon Boxall with more.
Environmentally concerned stakeholders from all 3 islands met in Cayman Brac Monday, November the 7th, to offer their input on the plan.
It was a good meeting. From our perspective, we got a lot of feedback from people. It wasn't just telling us what they thought we wanted to hear. It was giving us their honest opinions. As they themselves would, I think, say, they're all for conservation, but there are issues with the draft conservation plan that we put out. We want to hear from people is their perspective on it, how it works for them or how they think it will work for them, and what they think might work better in some cases. And that's what we rely on hearing back from the public. We have a good idea of the issues that the seabirds are having, but we need to know the issues that people are having and how they see what they see as good solutions from their perspective for trying to find ways for people and the seabirds of the Cayman Islands to coexist going forwards.
The public consultation period has been extended through to the 11th of November. To learn more and to share your input, you can visit conservation.ky/seabirds.
And the Miss Cayman Islands Universe Committee says they've selected their first runner-up, Chloe Doxy Powery, as the alternate who will represent Cayman at the Miss Universe pageant in New Orleans on January 14th. The statement issued Tuesday night by the committee says she and the 2022 Miss Cayman Islands Universe second runner-up, Haley Grizzle, will both continue to be active in the community as alternates for the title holder, Tiffany Connolly, until further notice. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Justine Green. Republicans are poised to take control of the House of Representatives following the US midterm elections, but more narrowly than predicted. The Democrats look likely to maintain their upper hand in the Senate, with little sign of the red wave that Republicans had expected. In one of the most hotly contested Senate contests, the Democrat John Fetterman flipped a seat from the Republicans in Pennsylvania. In the southern state of Florida, the Republican Governor Ron DeSantis has secured a second term with an emphatic win that will bolster his credentials as a potential challenger to Donald Trump for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Russia is reintroducing basic military training in schools, reviving a Soviet practice. Some parents object to what they see as the militarization of schools. Pope Francis has told a crowd in the Vatican that mercenaries were inflicting much cruelty in Ukraine. He didn't specify which group he was referring to, but has regularly denounced Russia's war in Ukraine. The social media giant Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is making 13% of its workforce redundant in one of the biggest layoffs in the tech industry. More than 11,000 people will lose their jobs. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
After a storm, be sure to immediately report any broken or damaged water mains to the Water Authority. Our emergency helpline is 946-HELP. That's 946-4357. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 90%. The barometric pressure is 29.86 inches and rising. The wind is out of the north at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 75 degrees. Synopses indicate isolated showers along with light northerly winds and slight seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as Tropical Storm Nicole moves over northwest Bahamas. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving south. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Nicole. For further details, you can visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. This system poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times, with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s today. Winds will be north to northwest at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be northwest to west at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 10:18, low tide this afternoon at 4:18, and a high tide again tonight at 9:22. The sun will set this evening at 5:47 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:31. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning as Tropical Storm Nicole moves over the Florida Panhandle. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic is heavy coming off of the Esteli Tibbetts Highway heading towards the Butterfield Roundabout and continuing on to North Sound Road. Traffic stayed a bit flowing. On Cool Road, busy traffic heading to Georgetown. Eastbound traffic on Cool Road is light to moderate. And traffic also heavy coming from the east on Shamrock Road coming off of Rex Crichton Boulevard and the Linford Pearson Highway. Busy traffic off of Bobby Thompson Way and off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Slight delays expected. And traffic is moving along moderately on Owen Roberts Drive. As we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. And coming from the West Bay, four-way stop as well. Remember, roads are wet, so please drive with extra care. Into Georgetown on Shedden Road, traffic flowing pretty good. Out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Applications for Leadership Cayman 2023 are now open. Leadership Cayman is a 6-month intensive program that identifies and equips leaders with exclusive tools and information needed to take their leadership skills to the next level. Participants will receive exclusive insight from key decision makers and business leaders, create long-lasting connections while challenging themselves to make a difference in their community. Application deadline is Friday, November 11th. To learn more, visit leadershipcayman.ky.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
Ahoy, mateys! Enjoy a jolly day out with the whole family at Cayman Turtle Center's Pirates Fest Family Fun Day on Sunday the 20th of November. Explore the wildlife, ride the water slide, splash in the lagoon, hunt for treasure and enjoy activities for the whole family. The fun takes place from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Costumes are encouraged and kids 12 and under in costume get free admission. Don't miss all the pirate festivities at Cayman Turtle Center on Sunday, November 20th. Harg.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're expecting our guests in the studio for 8:30, so we have about 13 minutes that we can spend with you. If you have anything that you may want to share with us, I want to remind you that our phone lines will be open now until our guests arrive. Our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo, that toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. You can email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream, and also you can follow us on Facebook as well. So one of our listeners has written to us, and they have registered their dismay about the announcement that was made recently by the Department of Environmental Health in relation to the cessation of the glass crushing that was taking place, that was being done by the DART organization in collaboration with the Department of Environmental Health. And our listener has written and said that this is worrying, as there is already a dire need for recycle more waste here in Cayman. Goes on to say that glass was one item that most homeowners were able and willing to separate. They say that as the UN conference COP22 has indicated the need for more spending to sustain life on this planet, specifically aimed at climate change, we really need to look at ourselves here and do everything that we can to move towards a more wholesome environment. That was part of what they shared with us, and they also went on to further clarify that, just to clarify, the direction that was basically given as a result of the cessation of this program was that to put glass containers with residents and households should now put their glass containers in with the regular garbage as well. And I think they shared one more view with me as well, and that was that okay, no, that was basically that and that. So that was extremely helpful. On, was it Monday? I quickly shared with you some of the information on the Cayman Islands, the H.G. Wells book on the Cayman Islands that was sponsored, written on behalf of the Cayman Islands government as well. And we will share some of this with you. In the book, it talks about the late 18th and early 19th centuries. And it points out that the middle of the 18th century saw the beginning of formal government in the Cayman Islands with the appointment of magistrates, in theory, by the governor of Jamaica to enforce laws. These were headed by a chief magistrate. The first was William Cartwright, who served approximately between 1750 and 1775, although no official record survives his appointment. He had a reputation for severity that lasted for a long time in the memories of the island's inhabitants. He gave particularly harsh and cruel punishment to slaves, authorizing both severe lashings and public executions. Wow, so we should remember that name, William Cartwright. So it goes on to say that Cartwright was followed by William Bawden, one of the most significant figures in Caymanian history, who served as chief magistrate from 1776. Originally from Bawden Town, his tenure would see many changes in Caymanian society, and he would become known as Governor Bawden, although he never held the title officially. Although it has been previously thought that there was a single Governor William Bawden, it is now believed that there were two. The first William Bawden seems to have died in April of 1789, and his position taken by a successor who bore the same name, possibly his son, who held the office until 1823. And this portion of the book talks about the fact, and it says that regardless of whether there was one Governor Bawden or two, his appointment as chief magistrate was not made official until the 13th of January of 1798, when he received a commission from the governor of Jamaica, the Earl of Ballycarres, as did his brother James and Joseph. It had already been noted by Edward Long in his 1774 History of the West Indies that the Caymanians, uniquely amongst British territories in the region, were in the habit of selecting their own chief or governor. It was in the late 18th centuries that Georgetown, the capital of the Cayman Islands, truly began to take shape, and it was then renamed in honor of the king. There have been conflicting thoughts about which king it was named after, George II or George III, as it is still referred to as George Gall's map of 1773. It's still referred to in George Gall's map of 1773 as Hogstyes. It is unlikely to be named after George II, as his reign ended in 1760. So Georgetown was referred to as Hogstyes before it was really renamed Georgetown. In the log of HMS Providence, commanded by Captain William Bligh of HMS Bounty fame in 1793, and in the first ever census of the Cayman Islands in 1802, so we know the first census in Cayman was in 1802, it is referred to as Georgetown, formerly Hogstyes, which suggests that the change had only occurred in recent years, thus placing it firmly in the reign of King George III. The Caribbean was still dangerous in the late 18th century, although the threat of piracy had largely vanished. There were still tensions between the various colonial powers in the region. Certainly the Spanish living on Cuba did not have a favorable view of the inhabitants of the Cayman Islands, believing them to be sea robbers posing as fishermen. During the American Revolution, the Spanish took the opportunity to attack Grand Cayman. The war at sea itself did spill into Caymanian waters, and the Royal Navy ship HMS Janus succeeded in capturing the American ship Hibernia off the coast of Grand Cayman near Hogstyes. Like many islands in the region, the inhabitants of Grand Cayman established a militia that was first officially raised in 1788. Without any help from experienced engineers, they built 2 forts to protect themselves from Spanish raiders from Cuba. Again, goes to show you the individualism of Caymanians. Without any help from experienced engineers, they built 2 forts to protect themselves from Spanish raiders from Cuba, one at Georgetown and the other at Prospect. The walls were built of coral rock with a core of limestone rubble and followed the design of most contemporary English gun batteries. The island's poverty appears to have influenced the equipment of those forts, although the fort at Georgetown was designed with 8 cannon emplacements. Records indicate that by early in the following century, only 3 guns were installed. These forts proved useful when they were subjected to attacks from Spanish ships into the 19th century. The late 18th century also saw the creation of a new mansion on the islands, Pedro St. James, near Bordentown. It was built by wealthy planter William Eden as a home using slave labor. The issue of wrecking became more prominent in the late 18th century. Wrecking did not necessarily mean that the Caymanians lured ships into the rocks, although this was an accusation that was leveled against them periodically. It did, however, involve boarding ships that had run aground on the reefs that surrounded the islands and salvaging the goods and supplies on board to the detriment of the owners. The most famous wrecking incident in Caymanian history is the wreck of the 10 sails when 9 ships and their military escort that formed part of the convoy of 58 traveling to Britain were wrecked at the East End in Grand Cayman during the early morning hours of the 8th of February 1794. Upon learning of the wreck, the inhabitants of East End did their utmost to aid the survivors, and remarkably, only 8 lives were lost. The sheer number of survivors caused difficulty in Grand Cayman, as the island had recently suffered from a hurricane and food supplies were low, even before additional arrivals. The significance of this event in Caymanian history is demonstrated by the legends that it produced. An enduring belief arose that a royal prince had been aboard one of the wrecked ships, and that King George III, impressed by and grateful for Caymanian efforts in aiding his son, granted them immunity forever from both taxation and military conscription. This story is sadly false. Prince William Henry, later William IV, had indeed served in the West Indies, but by the time of the incident, he had retired from active service, nor is there a record of any other prince aboard the wrecked ships. This story's enduring popularity, however, reflects the traditional Caymanian opposition to direct taxation. And I have to end there, but just to say to you that there's a story that I read recently about late Mr. Ernest Panton. And when one of the governors came to the island and Mr. Ernest was introducing himself, he was reminded that he introduced himself as the receiver of Rex, the receiver of Rex. Now, that could have been taken in 2 ways, which could have meant that the governor that was coming here, Mr. Ernest was receiving him at the time, and he may have been a wreck. Or back to the famous thing about wrecks in the Cayman Islands, that when they occurred, the government took charge of them to ensure that they weren't looted, that things were not taken, because there were maritime laws that were in effect. So the receiver of wrecks in the Cayman Islands was there. That was part of their purpose. So, folks, we've reached the 8:30 hour. We're going to take a commercial break. Hopefully our guests are in the studio. If not, we will look and see. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care, close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carly Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We understand that the traffic on the roads may be unusually heavy this morning. Not sure the reason for that, whether or not the road conditions have anything to do with it. When I was coming in at after 6 minutes to 7 this morning, there was still some light rain in some areas, and some areas that you drove in, the road was completely dry. It was as if nothing happened in that area. But we're happy to have in the studio with us the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, and joining us soon also will be his Deputy and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. So, Mr. Leader of the Opposition, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
And thank you to OC, and good morning to you, and good morning to the wider Cayman Islands this morning. It was a bit of a wet morning. Had some good showers this morning, right around between 5 and 6. But yeah, it was. I found it a bit, unusually heavy traffic this morning coming in. That's why I was a few minutes late. So I do apologize to you and to the wider public who may have been waiting for us. But my colleague too, Joey, is on his way in, and he should be here in the next minute or two as well.
Okay. Anything new to share with us? Your celebrations, everything seems to be.
That's where I'd really like to kick. We decided we'd want to kick things off this morning just to talk a little bit about our 20th anniversary celebrations, because they kicked off and they're running in high gear right now. We've had a couple of events, and we are having one again tomorrow night. So if I could just like to welcome my colleague, the Deputy Leader, as well. So I said he'd be here in a couple of minutes, true to my word. But we had first off, we had a karaoke evening 2 weeks ago at the office lounge in Georgetown, and I think that event really was very well received and responded to by the public. The lounge itself was packed to capacity, and we all had a great evening. I even tried my hand at karaoke on that evening.
It's not as easy as it seems, unless they've improved on the technology, But
I did.
Not even technology could help me.
I sang 2 Johnny Cash songs, and everybody's eyes were lighting up. Roy, you can sing. But that event.
But don't change your day job, right?
No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. So we had that event 2 weeks ago, and again, very well responded to by the public, and we had good support there. The big event that we had was last week Saturday, which was the Food Fest and Health Fair at the Farmers Market grounds, and that ran from 11 a.m. until 3. And that, for me, exceeded my expectations in every regard. The food was completely sold out, and so we served probably about 350 meals at that event, and the response to the public to the health fair and the presence of the HSA there was overwhelming. They actually ran out of the flu shots more than once.
Wow.
And also vaccines. We had well over 200 people that came to get either one or the other, as well as health checks and that sort of stuff. So it was they said to us that they were bowled over by the response from the public to their presence there and to the event. And so I'm waiting on their final numbers, but we know it was over 200 people that actually came and took advantage of it.
That is excellent.
So it really is, really want to have a big shout out to the HSA, and particularly to the good people at Public Health who were there, and while it was a hot day, it wasn't unbearable, so everybody survived it. But I also need to thank publicly all those entities that really helped us with donating food and cooking food for us at the event, And if you don't mind, I'd like to give a big shout out to Island Taste, to McDonald's Restaurant, to Kirk Market, and to Wellies, who they cooked food for us and in cases provided food as well, free of donated food to us for the event. So all in all, it was a great event, a very successful one for us, and well responded to by the public. So we do have, and on top of that, we've got a number. I said we have got other events coming up. Have one coming up tomorrow night, which is a pool and dominoes tournament, and we're going to be hosting that at the is it the Energy Lounge?
The Energy Lounge. But before you move on to that, we raised about $5,000 at the food sale, and that will be donated to the NCVO.
Yes.
So the proceeds from the food sale will be going to the NCVO. So
yeah, it actually was about 5,500.
Yeah,
so it's well north of it.
We thank the general public for their support and for supporting a good cause.
Yeah. So we're very grateful for that and for what we've done. And as you mentioned, NCVO will be the beneficiary of it. 100% of the proceeds from that event. So I just wanted to mention tomorrow night
we also had, and the thank yous, Dale and Marcia Dakers, I think, did some food for us as well.
Yes, I believe you're right. Yeah. I knew I would miss someone.
And we also want to thank the Farmers Market management for facilitating us there. Yeah.
You want to talk then about the upcoming events?
No, I can do, certainly. We have, I think tomorrow, November 10th, is the domino and pool competition, friendly domino and pool competition at the Energy Lounge in the Burkmaud Plaza.
Is there ever
on
a
Road.
friendly domino competition?
This one will be competitive but friendly. So that's tomorrow evening. So we invite everyone to stop by and say hello, and if you want to play some dominoes or take part in the pool tournament, please do so. We'll have some prizes for the winners, etc. And then, of course, we'll all be there to share in some fellowship and continued celebration of our anniversary. And then our next big event, which we're really looking forward to, and we think we're going to have a tremendous response and a wonderful evening. If I could say a good old Caymanian evening, is a gospel concert or a Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Gates will open from 6:30 p.m. The headliner will be Carleen Davis. I don't think anyone that follows good music and in her recent years gospel music would not know Carleen Davis from Jamaica.
Yes.
But we'll also feature performances by the Agape Praise and Worship Group, the Red Bay Gospel Band, the New Testament Church, the United Pentecostal Church, the Williams Quintet, the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Gospel Choir, and the Seventh-day Adventist Countdown Choir. So lots of local entertainment, good wholesome entertainment for us to all come out and enjoy. Those who we start 6:30 in the evening. For those who like to turn in a little earlier, will be able to enjoy some of it. But we expect a tremendous turnout, and we'll be there on hand as well. This is one of our flagship events for our celebration, and just think with all that's going on in certainly in the world right now and in the country, the timing is perfect to come together for an evening of spiritual fellowship and celebration in Christ. Yes. So, those are the two events coming up that we're looking forward to and inviting everyone to come out and join us.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to add to that too, as well, is that, we will be having the our senior citizens Christmas party as well this year. It will return after a 2-year hiatus from COVID. That's coming.
Excellent, excellent. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with the leader of the opposition and his deputy will continue, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the beer.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Come celebrate 53 years with big savings. Brand Source Home Gallery invites you to their 53rd anniversary sale. 1 week only, November 7th to 12th. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Sale discounts on appliances, lighting and fans, faucets, sinks, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, mattresses, housewares, and more. Come get inspired by inspiring luxury as Brand Source Home Gallery celebrates 53 years with a sale till November 12th. 209 Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carleen Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Pirates Fest! Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest 2022. 3 cheers for 3 islands.
Registration is now open for the 7th annual Meals on Wheels 5K Turkey Trot fundraising run walk. Come trot with us on Saturday, November 26th at Grand Ole House, South Church Street. There are great raffle prizes to be won, finisher medals, trophies, and complimentary continental breakfast to enjoy. Support Meals on Wheels in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Register today online at www.mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974 for details on volunteering for this event. See you at the start line.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Roy McTaggart, his Deputy and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. Before I pass the mic back over to them, just want to share some happy birthday greetings going out to Miss Avril Scott, also known as Miss Annie. She, of course, is the mother of our Clerk of Cabinet, Miss Kim Bullins, and happy birthday greetings are going out to her. She actually celebrates 2 birthdays, the 8th and the 9th of November, as well. So that's the Cayman Black Queen, having two birthdays, as well. So all of her family and friends sending birthday greetings, as well as her husband, children, and grandchildren. And I just want to say that I had the personal experience of working with Miss Avril in the immigration department, and she worked on listing for the various boards, the work permit board.
That's correct.
And,
yes.
And if you didn't look for her, you would never know that she was in the office. Quiet, dedicated, and you always have the office politics and stuff like that. But and immigration had a lot of it. I mean, we had our own politicians right in there. But she never got involved in the fray at all. But and well respected by all of her colleagues. So, Ms. Avril, I want to say, happy birthday, coming from all of your family and friends, including us here at Radio Cayman, and thanks for your service to the people of the Cayman Islands as a civil servant as well.
Happy birthday, Miss Avril. Happy birthday.
I'd extend our best wishes to you too, Miss Avril, on your birthday, and wish you many more. Yes, that's great.
So I actually, let me just formally say good morning to everyone and apologize for being a couple of minutes late, but I'm adjusting to the new traffic situation. I hope temporary. Getting into town these days, and then you add a little bit of rain and it makes matters even worse. But thank you for having us again this morning, and a pleasant good morning to everyone out there. The roads are a little wet, so please be very careful on your commute today. Also, I think we just would like to recognize and congratulate the young Caymanians, 2 students and one who recently graduated, Aliyah General Rion Porter, former youth parliamentarian, and Bella Rooney, on their being selected to attend the COP27 climate change conference, which is going on right now in Egypt until the 18th of November. So congratulations to them, and we hope that they have a productive conference and come back energized and with ideas to help continue us down the road of sustainability. So I just wanted to shout that out, give them a shout out, and say that we're all very proud of them.
Excellent. Okay.
I think what we can do then, now we'll move on to a couple of things now that have
sure, you can take the lead, and if I have any questions or
sure.
Anything that comes in, then I'll direct them towards you.
Absolutely. Recently, the government announced, I think, some removal of duties on a certain number of items. I do have the list here.
This is the ones for energy
efficiency things, yeah. And I say that we wholeheartedly support the removal of those duties, and I think the items, I've got 5 things here that they indicated they have removed duties on. That is spray polyurethane foam insulation, polyurethane foam sheets, low E-film for windows, smart thermostats, and smart home energy monitors. So, I mean, very important things to, in terms of dealing with issues with energy and making homes and buildings more efficient. And so we commend and we do support the removal of those items by the government.
Now, one of the questions and concerns that I had, and several persons, either through text messages or otherwise, expressed their concern as to how do you ensure that some of these reductions are passed on to the consumer, especially when it comes to the service part of things. For instance, the installation of foam, you normally would get a contractor to do that. There are several companies that do the spray and stuff like that.
Sure.
How do you ensure that comes on? It's a different thing now if you're ordering for yourself and you're getting energy efficient thermostats and stuff like that, then you can see that directly. But the real large ones, because I would venture to say that if you were doing an attic at this point in time and it's already in place, the house is already built, which means that it makes it even more difficult for the workmen to work in there, that you're looking in the double digits in terms of thousands of dollars, at least $10,000.
Yeah, easily. Those types, depending on the size, as well it does. But I mean, I looked into wanting to do my own home, and that like 3,000 square feet, and it was going to cost me something between $11,000 and $13,000 to do. So it's hugely expensive, and so I think it certainly should have a measured, see a measured reduction in the price of materials for these things, and so the consumer should see a reduction there. But you raise a good point, OC, and this issue always comes up whenever government seeks to reduce duties on any items. Well, how do you know it's going to be passed on by the retailers or the importers? And there has to be an element of trust here. Government doesn't have the resources that I can know of to be able to go out and police it and make sure that businesses reduce their prices in proportion to the level of savings that have been granted in terms of the cost of importing the products. Right. So there has to be an element of trust here to ensure that they will be honest and pass those savings on to the consumers. But yes, there is a 22% reduction in the stamp, not stamp duties, but the import duties. But that does not translate to a 20 or 22% reduction in the price of the item. It's going to be less. Just my gut feeling tells me that it should be about 15%.
Okay.
It's going to be less. And so, you have to manage people's expectations with things like that. Because, immediately say, I don't see a 22% or 20% difference in the cost of this item. Well, it doesn't, because you have the importer's markup as well.
Yeah. And you still have to pay the freight and
stuff,
insurance.
But it allows you to shop, to check to see whether or not you're getting a fair price, even if you were to check online to see what the price is, and then give an estimate for the freight and a bit of a margin. Then you can that's items that you can purchase yourself, or if it's light bulbs, etc. On the services, I just wanted to give recommendations to persons that it is a competitive market out there, so certainly shop around. And then in this instance, you could possibly ask for them to break it down for you for materials, cost of materials, and then labor, etc. So you can then have a look, and you can also do some checks yourself. But it is a very competitive market out there, so be sure to get a couple of quotes, and also ask them if they're able to break out materials from labor, so you can see where your spending is going.
Yeah, and of course, any astute business person may want to say, well, here are our rates, and here is what it would have cost you for a 3,000 square foot house before the reduction, And here is what it is after, if they really want to attract people. And I would also say, and this is just my personal view, that any person looking to start a business and want to get involved in it, this may be the good time to do so and advertise the fact that what we're offering you now is being offered at the reduced, at a reduced price because of the removal of the import duties, and that's how you keep the competition, on their toes as well.
Absolutely. And the only other thing I'd mention with regard to this, is that, even though government have now taken this step of eliminating those duties, that you probably won't see a decrease in pricing immediately. Because obviously they've got stuff that they've brought in, they've got stock in hand that they've got to get rid of themselves. And the last thing a retailer wants to do is to have stock or have existing stock and then have a whole bunch of new stuff coming at a cheaper price.
But as a consumer advocate, I would say that when it's in the opposite direction and you see that the import rate duties go up, then the person doesn't tell you, well, what's on the shelf, we're going to sell it until it's gone, and then we're going to they do it immediately.
Right. Well, it's a choice. I mean, that's the issue with the fuel, the argument there. And if you did business or accounting, you're last in, last out, or first in, first out, like FIFO. But it is, I mean, in particular for smaller businesses, if you have goods on the shelf that you're selling and then you go to purchase them again, the price is going to be higher. It's going to be, your cash flow will be severely affected. You may not be able to purchase if you do not sell the ones you have on the shelf at the adjusted price. And that is a reality in particular for smaller businesses.
Okay. But top of the hour, folks. Headline news. When we return, the conversation with the Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, and his Deputy and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh, will continue, so please stay tuned.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Grand Cayman's upcoming weekend of Pirates festivities kick off tomorrow night with a happy hour party at Snappers at 5 o'clock. There's also one scheduled on Friday at Cayman Cabana at 7 p.m. before a whole slew of events scheduled for Saturday. For the full Pirates Fest 2022 calendar, head to piratesfestcayman.com. Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has announced that it will cut 13% of its workforce. The first mass layoffs in the firm's history will result in 11,000 employees from a worldwide headcount of 87,000 losing their jobs. Meta Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg said the cuts were, quote, the most difficult changes we've made in Meta's history. The news follows major layoffs at Twitter, which cut about half of its staff, and other tech firms. And Rishi Sunak's judgment is under scrutiny after Cabinet Minister Sir Gavin Williamson quit, vowing to clear his name over bullying claims. Mr. Sunak faces Prime Minister questions, where he is set to be grilled on what he knew about the allegations. Sir Gavin is accused of abusive behavior toward MPs and civil servants, but denies any wrongdoing. Labour said the PM, who promised a government of integrity, had shown, quote, poor judgment in appointing him. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Our guest in the studio with us this morning, Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, his Deputy and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. Gentlemen, back over to you.
Thank you, O.C. O.C., if we move on this morning, I think I want to talk about the government's announcement on the National ID Programme, because I have seen quite a few comments on social media, etc., surrounding that. Whilst we haven't gone through the bill in detail, I did have an opportunity last evening to kind of scroll through it. Mm-hmm. There was one particular thing I wanted to check on in there. But, I want to say that I mean, obviously this started with the development of the e-commerce office in 2014, I think, under our administration then. And that was the first step in the direction of e-government and the National ID program. And they and I want to draw a picture where they actually go together. When we created the e-government office, prior to that, everything was left to computer services, whose main role is to take care of government's infrastructure as far as it comes to their information technology infrastructure. It's a tremendously huge job. It has to deal with all of their servers, their memory, everybody's photocopiers, fax machines, everybody's little laptop. Every government-owned laptop is managed by and tracked by computer services. Every government-owned desktop computer is managed and tracked by and serviced by computer services. All the passwords, everything. They also are responsible for connectivity, so the fiber optic line that government has, etc. That's all the responsibility of computer services. And they did have, or they do have, program writers in their offices, but it was not. It was our opinion that it was not suit to fit the progress of e-government, and that we needed an office specifically for that, to support them and work along with them in creating e-government services for our country and its people. And that role, they would carry out the business cases on the projects, and then handle all of the terms of reference, and then the RFIs, et cetera, and then would work along with computer services and implementing them throughout government. And we saw a lot of that with once they got in, they corrected the police records and fine-tuned that, the customs online services and others that we were able to get DVDL to start there. But one of the key factors in government services, e-government services, is your ECID, or your identification your individual identification number. This national ID program, this digital ID program, it will be a huge boost in the ability for the government to offer quality, secure services to its people. A tremendous boost, because you will actually have that ID digitally or physically locked in to you, and you can use that. You will be able to use that ID across full suite of government services, most of which were difficult in implementing or building because we did not have this digital ID. People did not have this digital ID, and you didn't want to have to go to licensing and get one ID, and then go to customs, get another ID, and go to police and get another ID, and immigration and get another ID, and it'll be worse than your online banking. And so this secure national ID program will go a long way in assisting government in progressing and developing its e-commerce, or government e-commerce, or digital economy. For the public, the benefits are tremendous. You have at your control the ability to interact with any government agency, requesting certified copies of anything that you want. You have the ability to provide agencies with the opportunity to, and I said before, if you police record, you can say, I give you access to the police record for 2 weeks because I applied to you for a job. It may be that you want to provide a copy of your passport, certified copy of your passport to someone. If you're applying for a visa or something online, it's still your possession, but people have access to that, and it's certified. You can and digitized. And all in a very secure environment, and that's the key to it, is that it's in a secure environment. The one thing I wanted to check before I came in this morning was who has access to that information. And I went to that section of the law, and it's only yourself who have applied and received the digital ID have access to that information, or someone that you have given power of attorney to, or you have given explicit authority through the courts to have access to that, to be able to access your information. So it's across the line. It's just a very safe. There's no government trying to get information on you. I think it's important that government does have information, and you have said it a million times since I've been elected. One of our biggest challenges in our beautiful country is that we don't have any information on our people. We have information on every work permit holder. I see they've reduced some of the requirements on those because some of them are just a little too far. But we know where they work, how much they make, where they live, how much rent they pay, everything about their family. We know nothing about our Caymanians. But this national ID program, along with the accompanying legislation for the population register, will now allow people to have all of their information to provide to the government if they so need to. And during the lockdown and during COVID, that was one time that we all wished we had everything digitally, that we could continue to our lives, we could continue to interact with our government, our services that we need, whether it's at HSA or whether it's at the needs assessments, or wherever you are, you could still continue to access your services, continue to provide information as needed digitally. And we saw how important that was and how useful that would have been during COVID. And so that, we were well on our way. When I, as Minister of Infrastructure, the National ID Program and Computer Services came together under my ministry at the time. They're now under innovation. And, we really, said, listen, we're going to move this to the top of the priority list. It was when I chaired the Economic Advisory Council that we developed during the lockdown. That certainly came out at the very top of the priorities for the country. And then it then opens the door for private sector. And I think there was one or two articles recently about how this could catapult the funds industry and other industries where Cayman becomes one of the, if not one of the first, but certainly one of the leading digital economies, that business can be transacted, due diligence, KYC, all of that will be able to be done now, eventually via your digital ID and through digital market or through a digital economy. So, once government gets up and becomes a digital government services, then the private sector will tag on to that and have the ability to plug into the back end of that. Things such as a national and independent I always have issues. Always have issues with the sweat.
Tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister. Authentication service. That was one of the big things, and we debated when I brought the legislation first to Parliament, was whether we create that entity in Cayman or we use an international entity as the authenticator. And I think the decision was that they would have contracted. They should have contracted a neutral entity, so that when it came to the public sector, to the private sector, they would feel comfortable in tagging in and plugging into the back end of this, because we will have a neutral service as the authenticator. And in layman's terms, the authenticator is probably one of the key things when it comes to a digital economy, is to know that it's authentic, that it has not been disturbed or that has not been changed anywhere along the line, that when that information is requested and sent by the client, that when they receive it, it is digitized, it is authentic, and it is as real as a notarized piece of paper.
Now, signing up to this national identification is going to be voluntary.
Yes, I saw that it's going to be voluntary initially, and that was a position we took as well. I think that once people see and understand how easy it is, it's like online banking. Everybody pushed back on it in the beginning, then you start to get used to it, and it evolves. I was one of those. I would not do online banking, but then once the app came out that I could do it on my phone, now I never go to the bank because it progressed to the point where it's now an app on my phone, just requires my fingerprint on my phone or whatever, and I'm in, and I can do my business in 2 minutes. It has reduced a day and a half of work for me with the ability to authenticate, because if I do it on my laptop and I carry out transactions, it then sends sends a request for me to authorize it on my phone. So then I put my password or I do my thumbprint on my phone, and then my computer gets a message saying, yep, it's real, and there we go. So I think that once people see the benefits of it, persons will be much more receptive to going in and getting that ID. And I would just say this to wrap up my end of it, OC, because I did say this in the debate when we initially brought the legislation to move forward. Would you prefer having that sort of control over your information, or where we are now, where you're dropping off copies of your utility license with all your information on that, copies of your passport, stamped and notarized, copies of your driver's license, stamped and notarized, your high school diploma, you name it. And right now we are several times a year providing that sort of information to people that it just sits on their desks. Gets passed around to human beings. It sits on people's desks wide open to the cleaners, to the maintenance men, to all of these people that could just take their telephone, snap a picture of all of this stuff, and steal your identity. So, which one do you prefer? And I certainly would prefer having control of it digitally.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, if Mr. Hugh wants to continue to talk about the national identification system, because I think it's extremely important, because there are still members of the public, when we talk about a national ID, that some of their expectations in terms of what it is and who it will be available to is still sort of questionable. And I think a lot of publicity has to be given, to this in terms of getting the public attuned to exactly what's happening. And maybe when we return, because we can talk about the regulations that will come as well. I would imagine that while some regulations are being prepared, at the same time, in order for you to do the regulations, you have to know what the bill that is actually approved, what is approved in the bill, so that you can then have the accompanying regulations to go with it as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
And the whole island is one big party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaid showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
So much happening, so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my healthcare instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Applications for Leadership Cayman 2023 are now open. Leadership Cayman is a 6-month intensive program that identifies and equips leaders with exclusive tools and information needed to take their leadership skills to the next level. Participants will receive exclusive insight from key decision makers and business leaders, create long-lasting connections while challenging themselves to make a difference in their community. Application deadline is Friday, November 11th. To learn more, visit leadershipcayman.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. We're talking about the two bills that are actually out for public consultation, as well. And I believe they were published in the Gazette on last week, Friday, the 4th of November. Mr. Hugh, you mentioned earlier the register bill, and then you spoke extensively on the card bill as well. Back over to you.
Well, I'll just pick up from
Sure.
here, OC, just speaking about it and some of the real benefits that I see from it coming from the bill, because what it will do, it's going to provide every citizen or everybody who has a right to reside in Cayman, and I use that broadly and all-encompassing. Anyone who has a right to reside in Cayman will have and will be able to get one of these these identification cards. So that card will be a physical and digital proof of your identity, and we will for the first time be able to tell quite clearly who's Caymanian and who not Caymanian, and that the challenges we face,
yes.
and we have daily with trying to make that determination, because there are people who have BOTC Cayman Islands passports who do not have status, and that throughout the years, private sector, public sector, we all have struggled with that issue. So I think it will resolve that issue for everyone, in that you will know who the person is. It will allow you to apply your digital signature to documents, which I think, is a step where the country had needed to be going in a big way. Many other countries, particularly in North America, are miles ahead of us in terms of signing documents digitally. And it's just so much more convenient rather than just have to be trucking around with paper documents for anything. So that's going to be a huge plus. And you can also verify your digital identity online and use the QR code that will be generated in order to update. You can update your information online and choose who you want to share that information with. So it gives the person much stronger control over their own private information, like what my deputy was saying earlier. Nowadays, with all the paper documents and stuff, your information is all over the place. You don't know who's accessing it. You don't know who's seeing it. You don't know, if there's someone malicious and means you harm, they can get hold of it and misuse it in very big ways.
In listening yesterday, I had the opportunity to listen to a portion of Mr. Ian Tibbetts and Mr. Brown's interview with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks on Talk Today. And he was also saying that even those persons who reside here but may move to another jurisdiction, no longer residing here, will still be able to take advantage, of it, because they may still decide to retain services here, like, for instance, banking facilities or whatever, here on the island, and they will have, access to it as well.
Yeah. Or they may need to provide a copy of a police record from the country they lived in if they're overseas applying for a job or opening a bank account or something. They will be able to just simply go online and do that and get not just a police record, but a certified copy of a police record. Yeah. And it certainly will make life easier for us as time goes on. It'll assist private sector and government in dealing with things such as the data protection law and stuff, because now this will be, you don't have to collect people's data to that extent, and there are severe penalties and laws surrounding data protection that kind of scares small businesses and others from actually trying to do e-commerce and stuff, because you're collecting person's credit card information or you're collecting health information, whatever that may be, and you're responsible for that under the data protection law. So these are all of the benefits from it. And on top of that, for the first time now, we will, once this population register legislation is passed, and I know that majority of the work, if not all of it, has been done in the background preparing for this. And we as Caymanians in particular will now have the ability to control and show that all of our information in one spot. And I say that because if the situation we're going through now where you have to go in and become regularized, that is because, as we were talking about during the break, your birth and death and all that sort of stuff is with the registrar, and your immigration status was with CBC. Now, with the population register, basically all of that information has been populated into one. I know that they will ensure that it has been, lack of a better word, scrubbed. Make sure there's no duplications, dealing with things such as juniors and seniors that often cause quite a bit of issues. Those are the sorts of things that this population register will eradicate for us and make life easier for us as a community. So I look forward to the presentation next week that I think we'll be getting from the government, and look forward to it. And I know that some of the things I see in there, and you spoke earlier during the break, or before the break, about the regulations. I know that there will have to be a registrar, director of the registrar. And I saw what the role is, but the regulations will probably spell out much more what the abilities that individual will have to do. So we'll have to look forward to that. But overall, I don't have any concerns that the government or Big Brother is going to try slip something in there. This is simply, when you lose your driver's license, persons have that information there. This they won't be able to get from it, because it'll all be in a controlled environment that you have. It'll be in a chip, And without all of your access information, etc., they will not be able to get your information. So it won't be all printed out on a card that, you know, somebody can physically get a hold of that card because you lost your wallet or something. It's all securely online.
And an idea in terms of what additional resources will be required for this, and will there be? I think when I peruse the legislation, it speaks about costs, as well, and charges for it. We don't know exactly what they are now, but.
Yeah, I suspect, like I just spoke about the directive to registrar, and it also spoke about its designates and stuff. There will have to be a department that will manage the registrar, and the issuing of the IDs can be refocused. So what you have to think about is the efficiencies that it's going to create. Allowing government to then reutilize those individuals to areas where they do need support. So, and I say that because I haven't had experience in government that people don't have to worry, it's going to take away our jobs, because there's a lot of other areas where a lot of, when we did the online, one good example, OC, is one of the first things I did when in our ministry was to go completely online with Department of Commerce and Investment. We ended up actually hiring more staff in the end because we were able to do so much more and provide so many more services without having to have so many people out at the window and everybody pushing paper and doing everything manually. We were able then for them to actually turn around and win awards as the best ran office, as HR awards and happiest staff and all that sort of international awards. Because we became much more efficient. And then by becoming more efficient, we were able to grow the economy. I think we had an average of 500 and something new trade and business licenses a year. Once we had reduced some of the red tape restricting Caymanians from getting a trade and business license. But also we were able to efficiently process them. And people, rather than operating their businesses illegally and not having the ability to open a bank account because they didn't have a trade and business license, realized, this is much easier. And they stayed, they renewed their licenses and became legal for all intents and purposes. And people would come to my constituent's office and we'd go on. It takes 5 minutes to renew, and you're legal, you're good to go. You keep your bank accounts, you can get work permits, you can do all these things because you have a trade and business license. So that's just one example of the efficiencies that this will create.
Convenience, yeah. Okay, we're going to take
DVDL would be another one.
Yeah.
That's going to be, department, driver's license, DVDL would be, it will have a huge effect on their ability to advance their online services and reduce the need for extra space within the offices and people waiting in line for hours, etc.
And one of the examples yesterday, while I was listening, that they use as well, as far as DVDL is concerned, is that transferring a vehicle, for instance,
right.
So many people have issues, with that.
You have to pay in person, or you have to get a notary public,
yes,
and that's another $25 and time. You want to sell your vehicle, and you're like, it's going to take me 2 days to get this done. That will create. It'll create so many efficiencies and allow our government agencies to redirect their efforts in developing and creating a better suite of services for our people. And all of these things, OC, for me, and the driving forces behind all that I just spoke about was to improve the quality of life for our people. That you don't have to spend every lunchtime running around printing this and getting this and going in line here and going in line there. That after sitting in traffic all morning and getting into work on a hard morning at work, and you get your little lunch break, you got to go back out and do all this stuff. No.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
60 and bossy with J and money. Win a trip it easy, trust me. Yeah. Come on, just send some money. A instant entry. Look how you're lucky. Bossy, J and money, bossy. J and money, send you go a yard. Scene, bossy. Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy. We well proudie.
Celebrate Jamaica 60 with J and money for a chance to win a dream vacation for two to Jamaica, including airfare, resort stay, and more. Send money for a chance to win. Your loved ones will also be entered for a chance to win a brand new car. Competition runs from now until December 24th. J and money 60 and bossy enough.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at Jane Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Bossy, Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy.
No Jane bank account required.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
Commuters are advised that until today, Wednesday, November 9th, Seafarers Way between 4th Street and Goring Avenue will be open to one-way traffic for works. The road will be open to southbound traffic from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. and northbound traffic from 7 p.m. until 4 p.m. For more information, you can follow the Georgetown Revitalization Initiative on Facebook and also on Instagram.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carly Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, the Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joe Hugh. We're talking about the two legislative bills that are going to the House to support digital identity. And the way that the conversation is going and the knowledge that both individuals display, on this subject, you almost want to think that it is their bill that is being brought forward. But again, it's commendable that you are talking about it, that you are promoting it as well. And it is also quite obvious that you had a hand in some of this, at least in the initial process as well. So at some point in time, I just ask you to talk to those persons who are skeptical about, advanced technology, and we always hear, and rightfully so, that, what about those persons who don't use the technology? And, while we're concentrating on now, we're also preparing for the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as with anything as significant and as big as this and important as this, because this is a sea change for the country. There is going to be some skepticism out there, and there are people who are going to be scared of the change. They don't like the change, and there are likely to be some who might not be able to adapt to that change that is coming. Nothing wrong with that. I think we all agree that there will be those types of occasions and things, but what this does, as you point out, is that this prepares the generations now that are coming after us, that are coming up, that are digitally savvy. I don't include myself in that, but I welcome the change.
Yes,
I am looking forward to it. So, as we were talking, we mentioned that what will I think happen? It's going to take. There is going to be a transition. There is going to be a fairly lengthy period of adoption of it, and so the same services that exist now will continue, and those that are unable to or unable to adapt to it or to embrace it for whatever reason, they will still be able to access those services. And one of the likely advantages, or that they are likely to experience, is that you're going into immigration, you're not likely to find a line that steps, that stretches 200 yards outside the door, or you go to DVDL to renew your car and or change ownership, whatever it might be, and whatever services you acquire, and you have to sit and wait there for 2 hours. So that is what we talk about when we speak about the efficiency, with being able to go online, sit in your home or your office, wherever you are, and be able to conduct business and know that you can do it in a very secure environment. There's nobody watching over you, and nobody getting access to seeing your information, not having your private information, lying over, across 2 or 3 persons' desks. So those are I think are going to be real advantages and improvements that you will see with the system. So to those that are unable to or who are skeptical about it, they'll still be able to function. And I would only encourage people who might be skeptical to say to them, look, let's give this a chance. I think that you will find that the improvement in the quality of your own life that it brings will far outweigh whatever hesitances or uneasiness that you might have with it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm finished.
No, and I think it's important also to note that this is not biometrics. It's not facial recognition. It's not tracking device. It's not government tracking you. I know there are people out there that are very concerned about that, and I even read comments where they say, "Well, that's next." No, this is just keeping up with the rest of the world, and this is as the world grows. And Cayman is certainly feeling the pains that the rest of the world is feeling as far as population and traffic and housing and stuff. Services like these are what will ease up some of the pressures. It's just there's good and bad with growth, and I think this is one of the good things that will help. But again, if you are concerned that you're not, that hand in on the computer, etc. It's when we did the online planning services, there was a lot of skepticism there, but people realized quite quickly it's quite easy. But even for those who are not able to use online planning service to submit their plans, the department made created a services for them to be able to come in and utilize that. And again, instead of standing in line with 20 people with rolls and rolls of plans under their arms waiting to do this manually, you were able to go in and get assistance to do it digitally. And the very same thing when we went 100% online with the trade and business license and Department of Commerce and Investment. Again, there was persons there that could assist you when you went in where you would normally go anyhow, but instead of meeting long lines, you were able to get through much quicker. And my last point on this is, and I spoke about photocopying everything and going around getting this and getting that during your lunch hour. Even if you still have to go to the counter, all you have to go is with that ID.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? So even if you still choose to go to the counter, if you have to go to the counter, you go with that ID. So we're trying to catch up with the countries that we model this off after, like Estonia and other places. Government services that would normally require you, in some other countries where they're not as up to date, would require you to for a transaction. Let's say a land transfer transaction was one of them that we looked at. Some islands in the Caribbean, you have to go to up to 5 counters in government to complete a land transfer transaction. In Cayman, you have to go to 2. In Estonia, you go to 1. And so that's where we want to get to.
Okay. And just to demonstrate what you all are saying, and to validate it, for instance, this is a news release sent out saying Department of Vehicle and Driver's License offices will be closed Thursday the 10th of November, and advising the public when it will be open again. Now, when these additional services are provided, it doesn't matter. It won't matter to you whether or not they're closed or they're open, because you will still have access, to their system. So again, just wanted to use that as an example. Gentlemen, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we've gotten a query from one of our listeners wanting to get your views on crime in the Cayman Islands, especially the increased number of robberies that are taking place as well, and whether or not you have any viewpoint on that. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
And the whole island is one big party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Come celebrate 53 years with big savings. Brand Source Home Gallery invites you to their 53rd anniversary sale. 1 week only, November 7th to 12th. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Sale discounts on appliances, lighting and fans, faucets, sinks, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, mattresses, housewares, and more. Come get inspired by inspiring luxury as Brand Source Home Gallery celebrates 53 years with a sale till November 12th. 209 Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now, reach wow. You say you need some money, JN money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN money we a pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carly Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning with the Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Deputy Leader and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hugh. So, gentlemen, I think some persons have received some notification about a robbery again already this morning at around about 9 o'clock. And I think that may have prompted the person to query to ask us to ask you the question, on your views on the crime situation in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are correct, O.C. I'll just comment here, but I did receive notification this morning. There was a armed robbery that took place on Mary Street at the Latin Taste restaurant. But there seems to be, in my mind, a very clear pattern of these types of armed robberies, and a very significant increase in robberies taking place in Cayman. Not sure particularly what is driving them, because at this point that the vast majority of them, I think, are not yet been solved. Mm-hmm. But and so it's difficult really to draw any conclusions or make any real observations about it, really, except that because you don't know, is the crime occurring because of economic reasons, mm-hmm. or is it one of opportunism, and that those sorts of things? Is it a group or a gang of people that are doing these things? Is it is it one criminal element pursuing another criminal element, mm-hmm. i.e. Gambling and houses and stuff like that? Because I do perceive that that there are events like that occurring that even go unreported, but there's no question there seems to be
some of the targets are not random. They're not
absolutely
random.
They're very direct. So it is difficult, but it is concerning, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing more from the police about this. Not too long from now, hopefully, with what some indication from them as to what what they are seeing from their standpoint. But
it is.
So I don't know what else to say, really. But it does concern me.
Yeah, this location says Mary Street, but it's actually at the intersection of Mary Street and Shedden Road, across from Phillips Electrical. Right. I mean, this is a very busy area. Dozens of witnesses, dozens would have had to have seen some action there, something. There are always people sitting out there. There are always people locked, trying to get out of Mary Street, Shedden Road, trying to head east, no matter the time of the day. And I think that is going to have to be the solution to this, is that we all have to support the police, provide information. If you know something, if you see something,
say something.
Say something. Yeah. We were very, as business people, OC, we often feel, or these days we feel like it's not a matter of if, it's when. One of my businesses faced that just a couple of weeks ago, and again, thank you to a good Samaritan who alerted everyone that the premises were about to be robbed, and then called 911 and called the restaurant and said, lock your door. You know, and these were two persons clearly seen on the camera and with mask on, with firearms.
Wow.
You know, and that was 8:01 p.m. at night, you know, and I had just sat down coming home from it was during the night of Parliament, and we were at the PPM office, and I got home and sat down to warm up my dinner, and I got the call and went back out. So, you know, it certainly hits home with me as well. But as business people, and we always talked about it, that in the current environment, what's happening, what we're seeing happening, it's not a matter of if but when. And I have to believe that there's a bit of organization. We overlook the amount of work the police does, and they've made several firearms arrests, and that's what's concerning me. I know that we had a slowdown during COVID because there were not that many flights. The waters were not busy, so any arriving boat would stand out. And so we did have a reduction in armed robberies and the firearms in the streets, and the police did a good job of upholding law and order then. But there seems to have been, I know that I read an article just recently that spoke to one gun being used in several shootings. So that's a rent-a-gun. Yeah. And it's sad to know that you know, different factions are shooting each other with the same gun, and somebody's making money in the middle. But the amount of guns, and we saw where they were targeting Georgetown a couple of weeks ago. Then West Bay got hit quite a few times. Then East End last week. I have to believe that there's something organized there, and that there's a brewing group of people who have organized themselves to take this easy way out of the hardships that we're all going through. And because I don't buy into the, you know, people go out and rob and steal because of hard times. Our people, our parents, your parents, OC, they were hard times. And they didn't go out and rob and steal. Work together, work hard, and be thankful and make ends meet, right? That's the way, the Caymanian way, that's the way we used to do it. So I'm just appealing to people out there, if you see something, say something. If your child, your boyfriend, if you know somebody has a gun, there's no good ending to that. The safest ending is that it ends up in the police hands. So, you know, I just appeal to everyone, if you know something, please call 800-TIPS, or call the police station, or call your community beat officer, or call your member of parliament, and ask them to assist you.
Okay. We have about 3 minutes left, so we want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments, some reminders in terms of the additional activities to take place, you know, with the progressives.
Well, I'll start. First off, by just thanking you, OC, for hosting us again this morning. Always good to be back and be here with you, and have the opportunity to talk about matters of interest to the country. But a reminder the public with regard to our ongoing 20th anniversary celebrations of the event tomorrow night. If you play pool or like dominoes, come on up for the competitions at the Energy Lounge in the Burkmaud Plaza at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. That's for an evening of fun. Also remember, on the 19th of November, which is not this Saturday, but next week Saturday, we're having the Gospel Fest. Headliner will be Colleen Davis and her band from Jamaica, and we got about 6 or 7 local choirs and gospel bands that will be playing as well, and we're grateful for all of them. We really had more requests than we could handle, to be honest with you. Look what we did.
Okay.
And so, I know there are some that are disappointed. We apologize for that. This is our first time with this, but it has been well received so far. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also the Senior Citizens Christmas Party will be on the 11th of December. That'll be a Sunday. And then we will also have, the festivities for us, and celebration will continue into the new year, and we'll have more to say about that as time. We've got some other programs that we're working on, events I should say, and we will have more to say about those in the coming weeks. But a lot of activities taking place for the progressives. Meanwhile, we continue to monitor things on the governments and in our role as members of the opposition. I forgot to mention really that, in light of the publication of these bills, OC, that it seems clear to me, and there have been indications that we are going into the House in December, and this legislation, the national ID legislation, these bills will be dealt with there. I think probably, certainly within the first week of December is what I'm guessing is we will go. So I'm expecting too that we will get notice here not too long from now of the meeting in December. So.
And will we have a new speaker by then?
That will have to be one of the first. That will be the first order of business, is to elect a new speaker, and at this time, no idea who that might be. Hear a lot of chatter of names that are, quote, in the running, if I could say, or being considered.
Or will the deputy continue to fill in?
To fill in.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hugh, anything more from you?
Yeah, Lucy, thank you. And again, just to say to the public out there, and I know, times are hard. People are, housing and stuff, price of gas, the price of lettuce even. It's not unique to Cayman. This is a global situation. But let us work together. Let us keep our heads high. The situation with the crime. If you know something, say something. You can call 800 TIPS. Or you can call your beat officer, your parliamentarian to help you, or 911. But let us all work together to nip this in the bud, to stamp this out. There's no place for this in Cayman, and there's no excuse for it at any time. We are all in this boat together. Let us all work together to stay afloat.
Okay, gentlemen, again, I want to thank you for being here, sharing valuable information with us. As well, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension for the record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice